Chiefs Kingdom, we've got a heck of a matchup versus the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round of the playoffs coming up this weekend. I am so excited to talk about some things coming into this game. This is Gary McKenzie, your host of Gridiron Lines here at RGR Football, the best Chiefs YouTube content in the history of all humanity for all time, forever and ever and ever. Uh, I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants. Ryan and Dan, they've kind of led the way. But I do my little part here, and I'm excited to talk about this playoff matchup. And the very first thing I want to talk about is this thing that's been bubbling with the Chiefs offense, I feel, since the Cincinnati game. And that is, I think the Chiefs offense has found their identity. And what is that identity? That identity goes through Patrick Mahomes, but it's different than in years past. So all throughout the season, the Chiefs defense has played phenomenally well. They're number 2 in points allowed, number 2 in yards allowed, and Patrick Mahomes, for all the experience he's had as an NFL starter, he has never played a full season either in high school, college, or the NFL where he has been able to rely on his defense consistently. He has been learning throughout the year that, hey, maybe I don't have to make a crazy throw to keep my team in the game. Maybe I can throw the ball out of bounds. We can take a field goal. We saw that in the Bengals game. We saw that in the Dolphins game. So Patrick Mahomes did some things versus the Dolphins and versus the Bengals that I really like to see with this current flavor of the Chiefs team. So he's doing a good job of taking care of the ball, and the Chiefs are taking points when they get their opportunity, either field goals if they are forced to kick a field goal, they can't get a first down, or simply not doing something that is going to shoot themselves in the foot that they're going to pay for later in the game. And I've seen this bubbling with Mahomes versus the Bengals versus the Dolphins, and this is a formula with the current Chiefs team. This is their identity that they can win in the playoffs with, because so many teams have won this way in the playoffs and gone all the way to the Super Bowl by playing great defense. Defense wins championships. Your dad used to say it, and now that I'm a dad, I say it. I didn't say it until my son was born. It's like this innate thing that happens to all dads. But defense wins championships a lot of the times, especially if you go back and look at the history of NFL football. So if the Chiefs play good defense, Mahomes makes a handful of plays. That's the second thing, makes a handful of plays in the game that kind of change the outcome for the Chiefs. And then lastly, they can limit their mistakes and take care of the ball. If they're able to do those three things, they've got a really good shot of not only beating the Bills, but having a shot to get back to the Super Bowl. So I went and looked at some facts from the Chiefs season this year, and in 4 of the 6 Chiefs losses this year, they came in games where they turned the ball over and their opponent got the ball. They started their drive in Kansas City's territory. So in 4 of their 6 losses, the Chiefs turned the ball over on their side of the field. That's not helping your defense. That's not working with the identity of this team, the strength of this team, which is to be a team that plays good defense, has a smart offense, takes care of the ball, and doesn't put themselves in bad situations. So in games where the Chiefs did win the turnover battle, this is going to blow your mind. The Chiefs have played 17 games this year, 18 including that playoff game versus the Dolphins. They only won the turnover battle twice all year long. And in both of those games, they won. So Buffalo is a team that wants to force turnovers. They're actually pretty good at it. So they're number 3 in the league at forcing turnovers by their defense. So this is a thing going into this game that I'm going to want to see continue for the Chiefs offense, continue to take care of the ball. Mahomes, you want to see him make those crazy awesome throws, but to be honest with you all, whenever I saw him throw the ball out of bounds a couple times versus the Bengals, a couple times versus the Dolphins, the Chiefs kicked the field goal. They took the guaranteed points because Butker is almost a sure thing. Knock on wood. That, to me, got me very excited because this is the formula the Chiefs need to take advantage of to win games. They don't need to be pressuring or putting pressure on themselves throughout the whole game. So if Kansas City can take care of the ball in Buffalo, I think that could mean good things for this team. But if they go there and Mahomes turns the ball over, they fumble it again, like Rashee Rice did in the first matchup right before the fourth quarter versus the Bills in Week 14, they're going to have a tough time. So the key to this game, to me, is which quarterback between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes can be patient and take what the defense gives them and don't pressure themselves into a mistake or pressure themselves into throwing an interception. And talking about these two quarterbacks, Mahomes, this is his first road playoff game. Now, I kind of put that in air quotes because really, Mahomes' first road playoff game was versus Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. No one's talking about it in the media. They're always saying this is his first road playoff game, but really speaking, this is his second road playoff game, but it will be his first road playoff game with a healthy offensive line. So we'll see what happens. But I took Mahomes' splits during his career versus playoff teams, either in the regular season or during the postseason. When Mahomes was at home versus a playoff team through his career, he has a 20-9 record with an average rating of 104.3. So he's played very well at home versus playoff teams and has a good record, good passer rating. But this is something that might interest you Chiefs fans. Mahomes on the road versus playoff teams has a better passer rating. His average rating on the road versus playoff teams is 110.7. So when he gets to go play the villain in the opposing team's stadium, he plays better. Now, the Chiefs' win-loss outcome has not been better. So the Chiefs are 11-8 in games where Patrick Mahomes has started and that team made the playoffs and the Chiefs are playing on the road. But his passer rating is better. However, whenever Mahomes has been on the road versus a playoff team and his passer rating is greater than 120, that's a pretty dang good game. The Chiefs are 8-0. So if Mahomes goes into Buffalo, plays an awesome game, has a rating over 120, I think the Chiefs will win this game. Things get a little more dicey when he hasn't thrown for a rating above 120. And the Chiefs are 3-8 on the road versus playoff teams whenever Mahomes doesn't throw for a passer rating greater than 180. On the other side of the ball, for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, the past 2.5, 3 season has been all over the place, up and down in the games he's played. Josh Allen has not had 3 consecutive games with a passer rating over 100 since Week 7 in 2021. So that's more than 2 full seasons. Josh Allen had a passer rating over 100 versus the last team he played in the regular season versus the Dolphins. He had a passer rating over 100 versus the Steelers. This week versus Kansas City will be his 3rd week in a row, and he hasn't had 3 weeks in a row with the passer rating over 100 in over 2 seasons. We'll see if he can do it versus Kansas City, but I don't think he can. And I say that because in Week 14 versus Kansas City, his passer rating was 68.8. Now, Mahomes' passer rating versus the Bills in that game wasn't much better. It was around 70, 75. So to me, this game comes down to a handful of things. Can the Chiefs defense do enough to slow down this Bills offense? The Bills offense so far this year, at the end of 2023, they were 6th in points scored and 4th in yards gained. Compare that to the Chiefs offense, who was 15th in points scored and 9th in yards gained. So the Chiefs have a huge task in front of them to slow down Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills passing attack. But the Chiefs defense across the board was better than the Bills. So Chiefs defense is better than the Bills defense. Bills' offense is better than the Chiefs' offense so far in 2023. So the Chiefs have the second best points allowed defense in the NFL, the second best yards allowed defense in the NFL, while Buffalo was much closer, or was pretty close to the Chiefs. They're the fourth best points allowed defense in the NFL and the ninth best yards allowed defense in the NFL. So the Chiefs finally, it took them almost an entire season and a playoff game to figure out what their identity is. That identity is taking care of the ball, taking what the defense gives you, not making mistakes, being patient. Mahomes being patient and taking the field goals and the points when they're there. Do not give Buffalo a short field in this game. If the Chiefs give Buffalo a short field in this game, I think they're going to lose. If Patrick Mahomes plays poorly, the Chiefs are going to lose. What the Chiefs need to win this game is Mahomes has to play well. He needs to be patient. And the battle between these two quarterbacks in this game is which quarterback can be more patient. Josh Allen is prone to making mistakes. The Chiefs' defense has not done a good job forcing turnovers. That is a juxtaposition or in disagreement with the way they've played. So there's a part of me that's been thinking something's got to give. This Chiefs secondary is awesome. They haven't had a ton of interceptions. McDuffie hasn't had a ton of interceptions this season. Snead has not either. I think one of those two players in this game comes up big. My pick in this game, I'm going to go with the experienced Chiefs team. I know Buffalo is surging. It's on the road for the Chiefs. But there's something about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game versus a team that they've seen a lot, they have a lot of familiarity with, and in my opinion, that familiarity gives the edge to the better coach. And the better coach in this matchup is Andy Reid. No one was talking about firing Andy Reid this season. When things were down for Kansas City, not a peep about firing Andy Reid. We all know who he is. Sean McDermott, on the other hand, was on the hot seat for a while in Buffalo. This Buffalo team, for a time, people thought weren't even going to make the playoffs, and lo and behold, they finished the season strong, and they get the 2 seed. But for me, I'm taking the Chiefs in this game. They're probably going to be 3.5-point underdogs. Let me know down in the comments. What do you think the keys for this game is for the Chiefs? Do you think it's patience, or do you think the Chiefs need to just go out there and put the pedal to the metal and throw all caution to the wind? I do not think that's how they win this game. I don't think that's what their identity is. I think their identity is defensive football, taking what's given to them, and that's a formula that has worked a lot in the playoffs. Have a quarterback that can just make a handful of big plays. That, in my opinion, is a winning formula. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I am so excited for this matchup with the Bills. It's going to be awesome. And make sure that you hit that subscribe button down there if you have not done so already. Hopefully next week I'm doing a video talking about the Chiefs matchup for the AFC Championship game. And that's all I've got. So as always, it's been a treat. Make sure you like the video if you haven't done so already. But this is Gary signing out. Here's to an awesome Chiefs playoff matchup versus a team where they have so much history against, especially with Patrick Mahomes. This is Josh Allen versus Mahomes. It should be a treat for everyone involved. Let's go Chiefs.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.